Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Andrew Meyer with Meyer Construction. I'm back on this deck with the BEHR Deckover product. So you can kind of see what I ended up doing was trying to power wash, but you'd have to get the tip so close that I was damaging the 5/4 deck boards. This is all just green treat. So I came up with the idea of flipping all the deck boards, at least on this main area that's kind of the main area the homeowner uses. So that's kind of a good compromise. Replacing any that are rotten and just flipping the deck boards. It's kind of slow going because this is all face screwed with square drives. So what I'm doing is using a little screwdriver, a little flathead, picking out the screw heads, taking them out, replacing any boards that are rotten. But you can see these deck boards are in good shape. When we go back to paint, it'll give it a brand new finish. I still got to finish the little bench over there, flip those, and then you can kind of see this is what we're working with. And this is power washed. Boards still need replaced down here. So what we're gonna do is paint over the top of this. Just kind of what we came up with. I'll show you how it turns out. I'm probably gonna flip these stairs just so this whole area is nice, uniform. This is the main area of use. Down there is obviously just a corridor to walk to access both doors. But yeah, this deck is 25 years old, and you can see how well those deck boards held up. Yeah, it's just one of those jobs that you just kind of got to grit your teeth and, you know, get it done. There's not a lot of skill or expertise to doing something like this, but I'll film some time lapse because we still got to rebuild the railing, replace the cap board, and kind of get this replaced. But it's going to be a big transformation. When you're laying your deck boards, a lot of times there'll be waves and you want to equal reveal in between your deck boards. I'm kind of gauging my reveal with the edge of my speed square. You can also take your deck screws and go in between the boards. But the situation like this, basically what I'm doing, if it's off, as I work my way along, I'll take my chisel and drive it in between and kind of pry. If it's really off, what you can do is drive the chisel down into the deck joist, and then that creates your leverage if you don't have anything to work off of. Also, they make specialty clamps, which I have, that are really handy. That actually, it's a Irwin brand, but they drop right in your gap. They have like a little leg that drops in that go on your clamps, and then you can clamp it. If I was doing like composite decking, I'd be using that. But here, where I'm kind of going back, just flipping them, it's easy enough to just work with my chisel. Another thing I like to do is set my screw pattern and take a marker and mark it on my speed square at, like I'm setting them at 1 inch, 2 3/4, and 4 1/2, and I'll mark both sides. And that way, when I throw my square down for my gap, I can give them a mark. where my screws need to be. So like here, I'm on the joist. I mark each side so it doesn't matter which way I put it. And that way it gives me my mark, or you know, my screws will be equally spaced, and it's also setting my gap. And since these deck joists are slightly kind of rotted where the old screws have been, or I'm kind of worried about that, I'm using 3-inch number 10 versus 8s versus like 2-inch 8s. So that way I'm sure I get good bite down to the joist. And it will have adequate holding power. So you can see this board is bowed. And I don't want to damage the deck board. So I'm splitting the difference. And I always make sure to pre-drill on the ends. That way I don't split the end of my board. Man, I will say I've spent the last week on my knees, and these knee pads from Menards have been absolutely awesome. They're almost like a knee brace, but they don't sag when you tighten them up. But yeah, I've been on my knees all last week and all this week, and man, they have made a big difference, I'll tell you what. So anyways, there's a few tips for you. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. This is going to be a really big transformation when it's all said and done. For you on your deck, maybe this is an option for you if you have BEHR Deckover. Obviously, it's going to save you a ton of money with the price of lumber right now. And you know, if you do it yourself, that's just your time. So this is an option for if you do, you know, if you use BEHR Deckover, you could flip your deck boards and go from there. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please go to BEHR Construction, hit like, hit subscribe, and keep hammering.